So we decided to do this study because there's a lot of literature out there looking at the relationship between children with sleep disordered breathing and hyperactivity and inattention. There's a few studies suggesting that maybe sleep problems may be associated with aggressive behaviors, disruptive behaviors, bullying behaviors. So we really wanted to get a handle on how those behaviors were related to sleep problems, if at all. We took a different approach to this study. Other studies that have been done have looked at the relationship between sleep problems in children and how that relates to their behavior. And what we really wanted to do was look at that the complete opposite way around. So we wanted to look at behavior and how that relates to sleep problems. So we did a cross-sectional survey study using valid screening tools for children's behavior and also their sleep. And what we did was we looked at children who had parental or teacher reports of disruptive behaviors, of bullying behaviors, of aggressive behaviors, who had discipline referrals, and we grouped these children into those that had the behavioural issues versus those that didn't, and then we looked back at their sleep. And what we found was that those that had the behavioural problems actually had double the risk for sleep disordered breathing, so poor sleep, breathing problems during the night. What we found from this study was that sleep disordered breathing was indeed associated with these aggressive behaviors, bullying behaviors, but more surprisingly was that it was actually sleepiness that was driving this relationship with the behaviors. It wasn't snoring as we potentially expected, which is one of the big sort of red flags for sleep disordered breathing. It was actually something a lot more general, which is daytime sleepiness, which of course can happen for many other reasons than just sleep disordered breathing. So poor sleep schedules, not enough sleep, fragmented sleep, chaotic home environments. That can all lead to daytime sleepiness. So I think our findings are important, given that in this day and age many people experience not enough sleep. So of course, while the findings are very interesting, I think certainly to show one causes the other, that poor sleep does indeed cause aggressive behaviors and bullying behaviors. Of course, we have to do a more longitudinal study, but nonetheless, I think this now raises the possibility that indeed poor sleep from whatever cause can play into aggressive and bullying and sort of conduct problems at school, which is a major part of what the schools are trying to address right now.